Imagine waking up to a sky that glows blood red at noon, hearing an explosion so powerful it tears apart an island, and watching a wave higher than a 10-story building race toward your shore faster than you can run. Because in the summer of 1883, the volcano called Krakatoa unleashed a fury so violent that the world literally shook, the atmosphere darkened, and humanity realized just how small we truly are in the face of Earth's raw power. Welcome back to His Tory, where we explore the events that shaped our world in ways few people ever realize. And today we journey into the terrifying, unbelievable, world-changing eruption of Krakatoa. If you enjoy deep dives into the past, told simply, clearly, and dramatically, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and share it, because this is a story everyone should hear. Before Krakatoa became the center of one of the most violent eruptions in recorded history, it existed as a quiet but dangerous reminder of the volcanic forces shaping Indonesia's Sunda Strait, and the island itself was part of a larger volcanic arc where terraforming had been happening for millions of years beneath the sea, creating a chain of islands that were beautiful on the surface, yet incredibly unstable underneath. Long before 1883, people living nearby had accepted Krakatoa as simply part of their natural landscape, unaware that the peaceful cone rising above the water was hiding immense pressure slowly building day by day. Krakatoa had erupted many times before the 19th century, with records from as early as the 9th century hinting at eruptions that may have split the original island apart, and each eruption added and removed land over centuries, as if the volcano was breathing in slow geological motion. Dutch colonists and local inhabitants kept scattered notes about rumblings, smoke columns, and minor explosive events. But because nothing catastrophic happened for generations, Krakatoa was seen as active yet manageable, a kind of sleeping giant whose snores were mistaken for harmless sounds. Everything began changing in May 1883, when Krakatoa produced a series of loud blasts that sent columns of ash more than 10 kilometers into the sky, startling sailors and villagers who had lived near the volcano all their lives and had never witnessed anything like it. The eruption cycles grew stronger with each passing week, and ships reported floating pumice, ash-covered seas, and strange reddish sunsets, all of which signaled that something enormous was brewing beneath the crust as magma forced its way upward. Despite all these signs, no one fully realized that these first eruptions were only the earliest whispers of an unimaginable catastrophe. By August, the volcano was under immense internal pressure because its magma chamber had become sealed by hardened rock, and this meant every passing moment added more and more trapped energy, creating the perfect scenario for a colossal explosion. Scientists today believe that seawater entered the volcano's magma system, creating gigantic amounts of steam that expanded violently, turning Krakatoa into a natural pressure cooker that was about to fail spectacularly. Even though the island seemed quiet at times, beneath the surface it had become a bomb waiting for the slightest trigger. On August 26, the volcano unleashed explosions so loud they were heard hundreds of kilometers away, and these blasts sent ash higher than any modern aircraft can fly, while producing lightning that crackled through the darkening sky like nature's warning sirens. Locals described the island as glowing from within, pulsing with fiery red light as rivers of ash poured down its slopes, and people across the region felt tremors rattling homes, as if the earth itself was groaning in pain. For many, it was the moment they realized this was not a normal eruption, but the beginning of something far worse. On the morning of August 27th, 1883, for cataclysmic explosions tore Krakatoa apart, with the final one being so powerful that it is considered the loudest sound ever recorded in human history, heard more than 3,000 kilometers away as far as Australia and the island of Rodriguez. The force of this explosion obliterated the island, sending ash and rock high into the atmosphere, and a shockwave circled the Earth multiple times, registering on barometers worldwide and creating global panic among people who had no idea what had happened. It was a moment when the planet reminded everyone that its power is beyond human imagination. The explosions triggered gigantic tsunamis, some estimated to be over 40 meters high, crashing into coastal towns with such force that entire villages were instantly erased, and ships were thrown kilometers inland as if they weighed nothing. People who survived described walls of water racing toward them faster than they could flee, and the devastation spread across the region, leaving tens of thousands dead in minutes. These tsunamis were among the most destructive natural events of the 19th century and became the most deadly consequence of the eruption. After the eruption, ash was blasted so high into the atmosphere that it spread around the globe, blocking sunlight and creating eerie sunsets and dim daylight for months, giving people the unsettling impression that the world had been plunged into a never-ending twilight. Temperatures dropped worldwide, crops failed in some regions, and vibrant red skies were recorded as far away as New York and London, where artists painted the strange colors without initially knowing they were witnessing the after-effects of Krakatoa. In many places, people believe the end of the world had begun, simply because the sky no longer behaved the way it was supposed to. When the ash finally settled, most of Krakatoa had disappeared, blown apart by the explosion, leaving a massive submerged caldera where the island once stood and reshaping the entire region's geography. Yet nature is never finished, and in 1927 a new volcanic island began rising from the sea, growing year after year as Krakatoa, the child of Krakatoa, and reminding the world that the forces that destroyed the original island are still very much alive beneath the water. This new volcano continues to erupt today, showing that the story of Krakatoa is ongoing and far from over. The eruption of Krakatoa in 1883 stands as one of the most dramatic reminders of the planet's volcanic power, teaching us that even in an age of science and technology, we remain vulnerable to the forces beneath our feet, and modern volcanology owes much of its progress to the lessons learned from this cataclysm. The event reshaped weather patterns, devastated communities, transformed coastlines, and became a turning point in the scientific understanding of how interconnected our world truly is. As we continue to study and monitor active volcanoes, Krakatoa's story warns us to respect the planet that sustains us, because in a single moment, it can reshape the course of history. If you enjoyed this journey into one of the most explosive events in human history, make sure you subscribe to Tory. Hit that like button, leave a comment about which historical event you want covered next, and share the video with anyone who loves learning about the incredible, surprising, and sometimes terrifying stories that shaped our world.